Team Venezuela wins their first World Baseball Classic championship, and we were just thrilled by the entire tournament. We're talking about all of it, including Team USA and their lack of offense in the last two games right now. Welcome on in. Bienvenidos to the PHNX Dbacks podcast presented by our friends at Circle K. We are here live in Studio K. I am excited that Venezuela is champion, and I'm bumbling my words, but that does not change the fact that I am Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX. We've been live for like 3 straight hours, so I don't even know the difference between when we start doing one thing and another. But I am joined, of course, by the co-host of this program and my therapist, the one, the only, Damon Farrell, aka Damon Dog, on the ones and twos.
Turn me up, Derek.
Let's let that wind music play. Let's let it go for Venezuela.
Team Venezuela is listening to this in the locker room right now.
Oh yeah, they're listening. They're definitely listening to Sexy Red in the locker room. No, Bad Bunny is playing throughout that locker room because it's an incredible album. It has nothing to do with the country. But I'll tell you what does have to do with the country. Team Venezuela beating Team USA here in the WBC championship game by a score of 3-2. And honestly, a huge part of this victory was the Diamondbacks' own Eduardo Rodriguez absolutely shoving in this game. I talked about it on the watch along. I've talked about it so much over the last, couple of months here. Anytime Erod's brought up, I bring up how Erod has had this tendency at times to really step up against big opponents. He did not have a good outing against his fellow Diamondbacks in the Dominican Republic game when Team Venezuela played the DR, but he stepped up today and he was incredible. Venezuela struck first there. They got on the board with a sacrifice fly, bringing in the first run of the game. Team USA starter Nolan McLean allowed the early breakthrough after Venezuela strung together some contact. And then in the 5th inning, you had Wilyer Abreu's home run. He launched a solo home run at the time that extended Venezuela's lead to 2-0. The blast gave Venezuela a little breathing room, and little did we know that this was going to be just a pitching duel between these two teams. And hats off to Nolan McLean, because he is a guy who I've said things about. At times I've said that obviously the Team USA had better options, and the fact that those options weren't available to pitch in this championship game did feel like Team USA was not taking this whole situation seriously. Now, we understand that players have restrictions based on their MLB teams that are paying their salary, right? But when these teams grant permission to players to participate in this, typically they're not really allowed to have control over them any longer. We found that out prior to this championship game when Venezuela manager Omar Lopez said to reporters that he got text messages from 3 organizations this morning asking him not to use pitchers that he used last night. And I want to say, Damon, that Omar Lopez may have gotten those text messages, but it very much feels like he did not answer them or respond or even take them into consideration, because guys used last night definitely made their way into this game. And when you look at the bullpen used last night versus tonight, he pulled out all the stops. He brought back out Zerpa. He brought back out Bizardo. He brought back out Palencia, who was electric in the 9th inning, closing things down for Venezuela. And really what it came down to was pitching. it came down to pitching for Team USA and not having a perfect starter out there like they were able to put out against the Dominican Republic and Paul Skeens. And then basically what this Venezuelan team was able to do to Team USA. And it was impressive tonight. You had Eduardo Rodriguez going out there and holding the United States scoreless and to one hit for 4 1/3 innings pitched. This lineup is amazing. Bobby Witt Jr., Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, Alex Bregman. The list goes on. Roman Anthony, Will Smith. What Bryce Harper or what Eduardo Rodriguez was able to do here was impressive. Hats off to Bryce Harper. For those of you that watched the game, this game in the bottom of the 8th inning suddenly was tied after I believe it was Bobby Witt Jr. walked. We had Bryce Harper step up and hit a game-tying home run. And even that Damon was electric. Sounded like I said Matt Damon there for a second. But not to say obviously I was rooting for Erod tonight and I was rooting for Team Venezuela. And a big reason why is because, as I outlined in our watch along, the Team USA made it very difficult to make that team likable. First of all, no Diamondbacks on that team. So that right away sends up red flags for me as far as rooting for a team. But you also had the fact that, you have the Cal Raleigh situation with not shaking his teammates' hands and it kind of becoming a joke, but still becoming something more, right? You had Mark DeRosa kind of not being the most knowledgeable manager when it came to what was going on in the WBC overall, and also bringing in the guy that killed Osama bin Laden to give, an uplifting pep talk to the team in the clubhouse, which has just been pointed out as being weird, but I think that what it comes down to is Venezuela deserves credit for the team that they put out there, the participation from their stars. And this team is as I said on the watch along, this is no Czechia. This is no Brazil. This was a lineup consisting of years of experience and all-star players, superstars like Ronald Acuna Jr. And, tonight, the most important factor for that Venezuelan team was what Erod could do on the mound for them. And quite frankly, he was outstanding. We've heard that Erod's wife told him when he was on the mound and he was dazzling that he looks like a ballerina out there. Well, he was dazzling. He was dancing. He was spinning. He was doing everything. And I know Erod's numbers from his entire tenure with the Diamondbacks have not been great. And I know you could easily categorize him as a huge disappointment based on what the Diamondbacks have paid him and, the performance that he's given them. However, it was last year especially where over 2 stretches, he was really, really good. And if those stretches could just find a way to get a little bit longer and maybe bridge from one to another, we could see Rod put together his best season for the Diamondbacks next year very easily. And don't even get me started on Gino. Folding Table says, Gino should still be a D-back. Hazen, you done tucked up. Damon spent the majority of the watch along putting together a case to bring why we didn't bring Gino back.
I just wish Gino was
Get
our
on
DH.
Screen. Everybody wants to see your Australia hat.
I just wish Gino was our DH, Derek. That's all it comes down to. I made my case on the watch along. Obviously, I'll let the people know how I'm feeling here, but for me, it's like this organization just doesn't really take the designated hitter position all that seriously. Gino was someone that was available on the free agent market for a very long time as free agency played out until the Reds then went and made him DH. And I remember I floated that at one point during the offseason, and I think it was on an episode potentially with Jesse, and to which both of you guys were kind of like, Gino probably wants to be at a spot where he can play the field and get more opportunity and whatnot. Turns out that market really wasn't an option for Gino.
Right.
So I feel like the D-backs bringing him in as the DH was on the table, was not a thing that obviously happened, but I wish it was, because I'd much rather be sitting up here being like, that's our 5th or 6th hitter on opening day, and we know our DH is going to give us 30 home runs next year, no matter what. And you don't have that production right now out of that position. So I definitely wish he was still on the team. Again, like a lot of people are like, well, that's just even more of the run it backs. Yeah. But at the same time, the Dbacks talent wise should be a playoff team the last couple of years. The reason that it didn't happen like that was because of complete and utter disaster. I think I honestly feel like if they ran back the roster, that it probably would be a playoff team.
Pitching is the main concern here. Pitching really is the main concern for this team, right?
Yeah.
Like, not to say that, Gino wouldn't have made a huge impact, but it feels like the one problem with running this team back is pitching. And I mean, again, Eduardo Rodriguez wasn't perfect tonight. I'm sure Venezuela would like to have gotten a few more, maybe a little bit more length out of him. However, you also don't want this very dangerous Team USA lineup to start seeing your guy multiple times through the rotation.
Yeah.
Right. But you also have the fact that you just got to give credit to what Gino was able to do tonight. Looking at his pitch selection, he threw 5 different pitches. He threw his cutter and his four seam an equal amount. He threw them both of those pitches 18 times. He threw his changeup 19% of the time, sinker 11%. And he threw the curveball 4 times. His fastball, Damon, hit 93.9 miles per hour and averaged at 92.6. He had tremendous command tonight, and he got himself plenty of, swing and misses. He got eight swing and misses tonight. So, again, it just felt very good to see Erod go out there against this, United States lineup who deserves criticism in itself.
Definitely. We'll get into that, I feel like, there's a whole piece of Team USA criticism to get into here for kind of the entire handling, I feel like, of the WBC. And despite that, you have so much talent, you make it to the final. But there's no chance that they would have treated that win like the Venezuela team just treated that win.
No, not
where people are crying.
It meant everything.
Flags are being brought out.
Erod was sobbing. Gino
is preaching,
and thanking God, and everything about this win meant the world to this country and these guys that are from this country, that their families are from this country, considering what Venezuela has gone through and the pride that country is feeling right now based on this team accomplishing it.
Yeah.
Is something that can help that nation heal, considering what they've gone through, right? So, I mean, we discussed this way back at the beginning of the WBC thing, right? Where, Damon, we knew that this meant something. We were worried about participation from Venezuelan players, but we knew that, this was important. It was important to this country, and the representation was there. These guys showed up. The superstars showed up.
You need a win sometimes in life. And I guarantee that people in that country and Venezuelans in America that were, obviously very supportive of this team. You saw how crazy Miami was in, the games that featured Venezuela.
Amazing. The fans were incredible.
Incredible. Yeah. And you could tell that I think that there's like a little bit of galvanization going on right now, and rightfully so. Like, this is not a political thing, but like sometimes you feel like as a country, as a community, as a culture, you've been kicked down a little bit. And this is the kind of thing I feel like that uplifts people. Yeah. And I guarantee that part of that for these players is that they feel like that they just gave their country and, the people that are back home just a little bit of a hand towards being like, what? Like this, we have pride of where we're from and just some happiness, I feel like. So yeah, this is a great moment, and you could just see how much it meant to all those players, which is incredible.
Cog says, God, now imagine the WBC in July. Where I honestly can't imagine the WBC at any other time than now. And again,
it's great timing.
We could talk about it for sure, and we probably will here before we wrap up with our WBC chat. But of course, we have to give out a king snake.
We do.
Because what would this show be if we didn't do that? We haven't done that in a very long time. And you guys know who we're giving it to. It's Eduardo Rodriguez. This man did a tremendous job tonight. I mean, Gino probably deserves a little partial king snake of his own. But what Erod was able to do here. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed. Just incredibly impressive against this United States lineup that is an all-star team. And hats off to them because they have struggled offensively over the last 2 games. They found a way to beat the Dominican Republic in the semifinals. They come into this game late, down 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th. And again, Bobby Witt Jr. walks. You have Bryce Harper come up, and Bryce Harper does what Bryce Harper does. He homered.
Insane.
And, again, he was very clutch for this team. But, you have the top of the 9th where Venezuela just comes right back. Luis Ariz walks, and then Gino doubles, brings him home, or doesn't bring him home. He brings home Javier Sanahoa. And, you have Gino, former Diamondback, bringing in, the winning run for Venezuela. Just an incredible effort and very, very impressive. Also, again, it's kind of funny to me that it seems like Omar Lopez, the manager for Venezuela, did not give a damn about your requests to not pitch guys 2 days in a row because this meant everything to this team. So he pitched Zerpa, he pitched Pizarro, he pitched Palencia. These guys were all outstanding. And, you now have Venezuela winning their first championship. Meanwhile, you look across the diamond and you have Team USA that was a juggernaut that should have won this whole thing, sitting on the other side of defeat. And quite frankly, they probably should have been defeated by the Dominican Republic. Like in their last 2 games, they put up 2 runs. And I think that's probably the most disappointing part about this United States team. You can say all you want about the pitching. Paul Skeens was incredible in that semifinal game. Tarek Skubal was amazing when he was actually here pitching for this team. There did seem to be that lack of commitment and that lack of superstar pitcher outside of those 2 guys, right? But that is not why they lost this World Baseball Classic. It was not due to pitching. It was due to their offense, both in the Dominican Republic game and in this one, coming up very short. And credit where credit is due. The guys, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., Roman Anthony, those are the guys that have been getting it done for the Team USA. So it's not the young guys that are the future of MLB that weren't getting it done. It was, quite frankly, Aaron Judge, 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts. And he finishes hitting .222 in this tournament. Man. You got Alex Bregman today, even subbed out for Gunnar Henderson late due to the pitching matchup. He went 0 for 3. He hit 143 with a 578 OPS in this tournament. Byron Buxton went hitless in the tournament, and you have even Bryce Harper, after going 2 for 2 tonight with 2 RBIs in the home run, still 214 with a 624 OPS. So offensively, maybe the problem was that there were too many stars in this Team USA lineup. Maybe the problem is that like what does happen at times with these super teams that are put together in the sport, guys are looking to everybody else to get the job done instead of being the man on their team like so many of these guys are. But Bryce Harper, he's a dude and a stud, and even his home run there at the end was absolutely electric, tying the game at 2, and we didn't know where this was going to go. Damon and I were getting ready to really regret our decision to not buy ourselves dinner because we were thinking that this was going to go into extra innings and we were going to be in trouble. But
unreal ending. And I thought Bryce Harper for a second. I was like, oh my God, USA's definitely winning this game. I said to Derek at one point.
Oh yeah.
I was I think you feel horrible if you're Venezuela right now.
Well, and again, with Team USA, it's I don't know if it was. I will say that, of course, the Dbacks thing impacts me, but it was just hard, I felt like, at times to root for this team.
For sure.
And again, I understand the implications. I understand there are people out there that probably think that's crazy. And I apologize to you as a fellow United States citizen. But really what it came down to was this was an all-star tournament. I don't know if this was as much of a world display of teams sending out their countries sending out their finest. This was Major League Baseball players being divvied up based on, their country of origin, or perhaps their parent or grandparents' country of origin, and participating in this tournament. So it made it fun to find teams to root for, and especially that Dominican team was a lot of fun to root for. But this whole thing, this whole tournament was such a success. And I don't know if it was a success financially for Major League Baseball. It seemed to be with those packed stadiums in the last, not only in the championship game tonight, 36,000 plus out there, but the stadiums were jam-packed for the semifinals. So that was exciting to see. But this is just so good for the game of baseball. It's so refreshing. It's so different from what we're used to watching, even though it's the same game. The single elimination nature of this makes this truly a tournament that anybody can win. And
yeah,
I do not want to do what the broadcast was doing to Venezuela and disrespect them like they're this scrappy group of underdogs that just came from nowhere to upend the United States and this powerhouse. No, look at that Venezuelan lineup. That is an all-star lineup in its own right. And tonight they had the right guy on the mound with Erod, and it ends up working out for them. And that's what makes this so much fun. We don't need baseball in the Olympics. We don't need it to be changed. We don't need it to happen at a different time. I don't think that there is a better time for this sort of tournament to take place. People, and let me tell you, I can attest to this based on our numbers from last week, are not very interested in spring training anymore. Lo and behold. Imagine that. Damon's laughing because he knows it's true, but hey, I get it. There comes a point where during spring training, especially this year, it's hard to have excitement when, your guys are all on these World Baseball Classic teams, right? But spring training just kind of gets to a point where there's a lull and it gets a little boring, and we don't really get excited about it until next week as we ramp up for the actual opening day. But this changes things, and this gives us so much baseball fun over this, 2-week stretch that I just can't imagine it happening at a different time, and I can't imagine it happening in the Olympics or anywhere else. Like Candace says, this is our Olympics. This is our World Cup. Yeah. And that's what we need to start thinking of the World Baseball Classic as. Baseball's World Cup. It's gonna be its own thing, and it's so much better than it is.
The Olympics,
Bryce Harper?
The Olympics is, while a great event, oftentimes is very amateur based. Is for example, if it's soccer in the Olympics, they have restrictions as to the age limit. Legitimately, you can't be over the age of 23 years old and play in the Olympics in soccer because the World Cup is the main event. And I feel like there is an opportunity here for Major League Baseball to say, no, the World Baseball Classic is what we care about from an international baseball perspective. And, maybe the Olympics can be second pony to that, but I don't think that it needs any changing. I think this is a perfect system, and it's way better than players leaving their teams in the middle of the year.
Yeah, and that's look at what we're talking about, right? We are talking about teams right now in spring training calling Omar and telling him to not pitch their guys 2 days in a row.
He's like, I don't care.
And he's like, I don't give a damn.
I would imagine, I was going to say, Derek, I would imagine that he asked those players, you ready to go tonight? Or you feel like it's not something that you can do. You don't want to risk it because you're not stretched out yet.
That's a little unfair, though, because players are hardly ever going to say that they're not ready to go. And I mean, if they are,
I think there are some though that might be like, you know what, I got a long season ahead of me, and I don't know if my arm has, multiple games in a row or whatnot. Yeah. But I also don't think that anyone on this Team Venezuela is saying, no, coach, you can't pitch me.
That's what I mean.
Because guess what? This means everything to them. That's my point being is that this meant just as much as winning in the majors to them, or if not more, because it's representing their country. So they're willing to risk that for Venezuela, and I think that that's totally fair, and that's how a lot of international competitions are. So I think that's the way it should be. I think that this tournament was a huge success, as was the 2023 tournament. And how can you not love baseball, man? I mean, USA loses both finals, and both times I'm like, what a game, what a tournament. Right. That was so much fun.
I mean, I was definitely pulling more for Team USA last time, but that's
for sure.
That's what it is. I will say really what.
But I also didn't hate Ohtani as much the first time. Well, I didn't hate him at all. He was an angel.
That's fair.
I remember he strikes out Trout, and they're like, teammate on teammate, and I'm like, Ohtani's cool. Yeah. And now come to find out he's a war criminal. Yeah. Walking among us.
I mean, just free. Damon, any way that you could make the WBC better? Do you think that the inclusion of more countries and making it bigger, the only problem I have with that is obviously what it comes down to is pool play. And
are there enough baseballing nations?
Right. And are you going to just add countries that are similar? And again, no offense to Czechia, because I feel like I'm just constantly throwing them under the bus. But like, are you going to just add countries that aren't going to be able to comprise a competitive team out there in the same way Brazil and Czechia didn't really put out a competitive team? You know?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you have, look, I will say this. I don't care about the stupid thing with like Italy having a bunch of guys that have never even been to Italy. Nolan Arenado played for Puerto Rico, and this is his first time ever visiting the island. None of this matters to me. I don't care. I don't care that your great-great-grandmother on your mom's side, once removed,
it's kind of cool,
was Venezuelan, and now you're on the team.
It's kind of cool to have like a team of like comprised of like, say it's like MLB The Show ratings, and like the Team USA is comprised of like a bunch of like 90+ rated players.
Yeah.
Team Italy is just comprised of a bunch of 75s.
Yeah.
But they're all MLB players,
Right.
and they're like all average, and they're like, what if these guys played good baseball for 2 weeks?
Look though.
It's
like,
awesome.
No disrespect, but again, even someone like Eduardo Rodriguez, who somebody in our chat said, how does a guy with a 5 ERA do this to Team USA, right? And it's like, well, because that 5 ERA doesn't carry over to into this game. It's just how he pitches today. All of that is a wash. Nothing of what he did in the past matters. But what's been crazy in this tournament is guys that are kind of mid-major league pitchers were studs and ended up being huge for their teams because the caliber of pitching in this tournament wasn't exactly elite outside of a few names. You had probably the 5 elite pitchers in this tournament, and everybody else was just kind of mid. And I don't mean to attack that. I don't mean to attack like relievers and call relievers mid, but definitely not like household names or guys that are stars in the same way that Skeens and Scooble are stars. But those guys like Palencia, player for the Cubs, or, even Erod, that a lot of people, like someone asked in our live, watch along, is this going to create Venezuelan fans for the Diamondbacks? Probably. Like if you come out and you pitch like this and you help your team win its first WBC championship, there are going to be posters of Erod in children's rooms in Venezuela, right? So
Gabby.
Like, it can't imagine that these guys aren't going to be, and Gabby, you also have Gabby who wasn't on the team, but still.
You also have Eldemaro Vargas.
Oh, Vargy. That's our guy. He's been doing good in spring training.
Come on now. Talk to me nice. You got Para. I mean, we are Venezuelan, Southwest.
Yeah. Yeah,
we love Venezuelan players in Arizona.
I kind of agree with RA. RA says Erod needs to wear a Venezuela jersey for every start from now on. He can just wear it under his Diamondbacks jersey, right? That's how I
see. I said this on the watch along, and we need to bring Johan Santana onto the Dbacks pitching staff, coaching staff immediately.
Yeah,
like Brian Kaplan
yesterday
hit up Johan Santana yesterday because. Right after the game, Erod's like, I just trust in what Johan tells me. And you're like, okay. So that's been the missing piece the entire time. Johan Santana, you, sir, are a part of Torey Lavolo's coaching staff.
You're over here. Well, I mean, one interesting move that is going to probably have a huge impact on the coaching staff or on the pitching this year for the Diamondbacks was the removal of Dan Herron. And the Diamondbacks have already kind of suggested that they're going to change their philosophy when it came from pitching to focusing on their pitcher's strengths versus the weaknesses of batters. Mm-hmm. And maybe, just maybe, it sounds like the analytics and the involvement of Dan Herron and everything they had going on was, part of the problem with this pitching staff and how, I guess, consistently bad the pitching staff was. Like from top to bottom. You got Merrill Kelly, you got Ryan Nelson, and out to side of that, everybody in the starting rotation had a bad year. Everybody in the bullpen had a bad year. Like it's. I mean, outside of a couple of guys, got Saul Frank and a few others, but
and he pitched for a month and a half.
Yeah. Well, and again, like we talked about on the watch along, you got the addition of Jeremy Bleich kind of taking over there and adding to this pitching staff, and that's not going to be something that impacts things immediately, but could very well have an impact. Once the regular season comes around and early in the season on this team. But again, Venezuela, your WBC gold medal winning team for the first time in history. Congrats to Gino. Congrats to Erod. Congrats to the Contreras boys and everybody else on that team for pulling off this incredible upset.
So Japan has 3, right? Japan has 3 titles.
3. United States has 1. Dominican Republic has 1.
And then this is
and
Venezuela's
now Venezuela
first.
has 1. Yep. So
fair. Credit to Venezuela, man. That's an elite list of countries to be a part of.
It really is.
There's 4 countries that have ever won, and it's the big 3 of Japan, Dominican Republic, and Team USA as the big 3 before the tournament.
Yeah, those
everybody
are the
was talking
unsurprising
about.
ones, I think. Right?
Yeah, and then Venezuela right there along next to him. And I think if you were truly, Derek, looking at these rosters and doing it from a talent perspective in order, you might have come away with Venezuela as the 4th best team overall, based off their lineup, based off of their pitching staff.
That's fair.
They have a really talented team.
I mean, we had them going pretty far.
Well, and we, I think when we were making that bracket, which I believe we have here, we were kind of deciding I remember in real time, as you brought up on the watch along, like, yo, this team is low key really good.
Just throw it up there like that with James McCann in the background.
This team is a lot better than we thought, and this is what we thought was going to happen in our list that we made here, Derek.
We're big dummies.
We had a semifinal of USA versus Dominican Republic, Mexico versus Japan, and then Japan beating the Dominican in the championship game. So we didn't think Team USA would win, but we thought it lined up real nice for Team Japan. But Venezuela had other plans there, knocking off Japan in that game, and then, of course, winning the entire thing. But, yeah, I mean, I think when you look at these teams, like maybe Mexico.
Yeah.
But I think Venezuela is the next most talented team after those big 3.
I think the Australians are going to start training tomorrow. I think they already
listen. I think we've already. And listen, Derek, I'm very familiar with what our program in Australia is working on right now. But
please fill us in.
We are in the early stages of building this baseballing nation. But trust me, you don't want to mess with the Aussies when it's all said and done.
You guys got plenty of land for baseball ballparks.
Absolutely,
so I'd put some in. We're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of this break, we're going to try to talk about stuff that isn't WBC related. In fact, Damon and I are going to tell you about our favorite new items at Chase Field, because we got to go out and check out the What's New at Chase Field event today. Taste a lot of stuff. Talk to our guy, Chef Tilder, an amazing human being, as well as Derek Hall, another amazing human being, Damon's best friend.
My best friend.
And
you like my hat?
Yeah, we're going to give you guys our favorite food items and everything else we saw out there. So don't you guys go anywhere. You're watching, of course, the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Well, the Window Depot wants to help you get your projects done right now. And again, like I said, the heat is here. The days of putting things off are over. We don't have much time. Not only is there a heat wave coming through Arizona right now, but it's going to be hot for the summer before we know it. So, of course, when you get a chance, make sure you pick that perfect window and get that project accomplished at home. And the Window Depot wants to help you get it done. They've been serving Arizona since 2002, and they are far more than just a window store. They have doors, skylights, cabinets, countertops, sinks, and so much more. They are experts in windows. They also have flooring now in their Tucson store, which is coming soon here to Phoenix. But most importantly, what they have is unbeatable prices and quantities of everything that you need. It's the reason why contractors love the Window Depot. They have unbeatable low prices and, of course, job site ready quantities. They also don't require membership for contractors or for you. So make sure to stop in today. They have in-house designers that can help you plan your space at no extra cost. From cabinets to countertops, they make it simple. The Window Depot, again, more than just a window store. Visit thewindowdepot.com and get started on your next project right now. And let me tell you, Shady Rays is an amazing sunglass company. They have some very stylish frames and crystal clear optics with their lenses. Their polarized lenses are exactly what you need for the hot Arizona summers here. But they are getting sick of hearing from me because I've lost my Shady Rays a historic amount of times, quite frankly. And no matter what, the Shady Rays team has your back. You contact them, you let them know I was a bonehead and I left it in the back of an Uber again. And they're like, oh, Derek, here's your form. We'll send you some new glasses. So Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. And of course, that counts for any kind of defects that you might experience with your sunglasses, which will be replaced for absolutely free by Shady Rays. So go to shadyrays.com right now and use code PHNX SR for 40% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses, and tell him the mayor sent you and that he lost his sunglasses again. All right, Damon. Well, I'm trying to keep my voice existing because we talked for 3 hours on a watch along, and now here we are talking more about the not only WBC but the amazing food and stuff that we saw at Chase Field today. And I spoke a lot there too as well because we got a chance to talk to so many people. Of course, we'll have an interview with Derek Hall as well as Chef Tilder coming to our YouTube channel here soon. But Damon, a lot of good things out there today. Not only did we get a chance to see the new scoreboard and the new ribbon boards that run all around the stadium, but we had a chance to check out the new wide variety of food that they have out there, and they're doing it again. And I think the one thing I loved about the new food that they showed us today was kind of the variety of things that I don't want to say is healthy necessarily, but just more of a healthier vibe. They had more burrito bowls, things with rice and chicken and things in them, maybe a little bit less carbs and a little bit more flavor. Just something that people that spend season ticket holders that spend a lot of time at the ballpark truly can get what is more, I think, of a dinner rather than your typical ballpark food, right? I've complained for a while now about missing some of my favorite places in there just because of the variety that some place like Panda Express provided, right? Now you can get that because they have like a chicken tinga burrito bowl that I really enjoyed. They also have this incredible barbecue mac and cheese with like brisket on top. That also had green onions and bacon, and we just ate and tried so many incredible things. But I think one of the best things that we had, Damon, was the pastrami sandwich that we talked about a little bit on the on the watch along. There is a pastrami sandwich now. Simple, comes on a hoagie roll. You can also get it part of the 50-50 with half of it being pastrami that has been soaked in au jus, and it's got nothing. It's nothing, and it's delicious. It's nothing, Damon. It's just amazing pastrami dipped in au jus. It's got some pickles on it. It has mustard. The other half of the 50-50 is an entire chicken parmesan sandwich with like 4 chicken breasts on it. It's ridiculous, but the pastrami sandwich in the style of the Hat in Los Angeles, if any of you have visited that restaurant. And again, just another kind of light option that changes things, something that they haven't really had in the ballpark. The most important thing, though, and Damon can completely confirm for you that this really did happen. Chef Tilder told me and Damon that he is bringing back the Korean pork belly nachos literally just for me. Just for me. So you're welcome, Diamondbacks fans.
Dbacks Nation.
You're welcome that I persisted on this, and I, in the words of one Damon Farrell, held the goddamn line on getting back Korean pork belly nachos with the fried wontons and the gochujang cheese sauce. I don't even know how to
Pickled
say
onions.
It's amazing.
I mean, Derek, nothing in the world means more to you. If you know Derek Montilla, you know that Korean pork belly nachos supersede all.
Yeah.
Wrestling, family, obligations, baseball. This man is, above all else, a Korean pork belly nacho stan. That is what is important to Derek. And
Ryoma nailed it. Yes, it's gochujang. Yes,
there we go.
Thank you.
There we go. That's why we keep Ryoma around. Derek, it means everything.
I mean, you have no idea how special of a moment that was. I hugged him.
You got emotional. You did hug him. You got emotional.
Yeah.
And some would say it was very similar to like how Gino responded to Team Venezuela winning the World Baseball Classic. Like
I gave a speech about God.
Yeah, Derek was like, "Yeah, I just want to thank God,
and
man."
I knew Jesus was with me this entire time, ever since they took the Korean pork belly nachos away, and he did not. He did not leave my side. In fact, there was a time where I looked back and there were no nachos. There were no Korean pork belly nachos and only one set of footprints in the sand. And that was when Jesus was carrying me through these hard times, right? But what I will say is that there is an effort made by this man, this wonderful chef at Chase Field, to always go out, try new stuff, bring whatever he is experiencing around the world traveler, right? Like this, it's honestly, like, he was just telling me that they will start planning next year's menu in July. So this is a year-round business for him to come and bring you some amazing stuff. One of my favorite things that they had is like a barbecue pack. I'm not doing the name justice. I know it's like a barbecue bundle or something, but it had Damon ribs, it had mac salad, it had like everything you would want. It had brisket in it. It was amazing, or maybe burnt ends. I don't remember, but just an entire barbecue in one of those little fun, easy to carry packages. Yeah. Oh, and it was supposed to be for a family of 4.
Derek Hall, CEO, says he eats it every day.
Oh, yeah.
He said he eats the barbecue every day. It's that damn good.
Well, I'll tell you, if I could get a discount on it, I would also eat the barbecue every day. So
fair, but I'm saying he could get a discount on anything.
That's true.
He's Derek Hall.
I mean, I would give him a discount on
maybe that's your play. You should start walking around being like, you guys know who I am, right?
Yeah. Well, he did
Derek
talk
Hall,
about,
and then find one person that knows your first name and be like, come here. What's my name? Derek.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Discounts in this building. That's the way it worked, no matter how we spell our name. They had, we did talk to Derek Hall, by the way, and he was very, very excited about the new additions, but he understands that there's still a lot people are, wanting for, this building. So what I will say, by the way, the roof is fixed, and it was fixed last year. This shouldn't be news to any of you, but this is just based on some of the responses that we got to, being out there for this event. The screen, Damon, it's amazing. Right? Like,
it look nice.
It is amazing. In fact, we have a little graphic, I think, if you wouldn't mind grabbing that, Damon, that was sent over to us from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And it's kind of funny. I do realize that I want to now start measuring things in Corbin Carrolls due to this graphic. But the new scoreboard truly is like state of the art. And I mean, you guys are gonna, if you haven't had a chance to see our little preview on our Twitter page, I mean, it doesn't really do this scoreboard justice, but here's all these fun facts about it. It's 63 feet high and 152 feet long, 96,000 square feet of display. Using Corbin Carrolls, it would take almost 11 Corbin Carrolls standing on top of each other to reach the height dimensions of 63 feet. And like I said, from now on, I'm only going to measure things in the distance of Corbin Carrolls. How many squared Corbin Carrolls is that board? That's what I need to know. It is the largest display in the state of Arizona and now top 10 in Major League Baseball, along with their new ribbon boards as well, which according to their information here, it's one is 984 feet long, one is 1,141 feet, and it's very long. It goes a very far distance. If you add up the 2 longest home runs in Chase Field history, which was Adam Dunn's 504-foot shot and Richie Sexton's 503-foot shot, you would still be 134 feet from the total amount of ribbon boards. So
crazy.
Yeah. It's a lot of distance.
That is a lot of distance. I'd love to see a home run hit like that this year, but I don't think we have anybody on the roster.
504 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But
Luke and Baker.
Luke and Baker.
Big Luke.
Yeah, our big LBs. But yeah, no, I mean, that video board, it's really something you have to see in person to experience the greatness of it. There's all sorts of little changes made. Derek Hall brought up some things that the team doesn't even really, tote too much, like, new safety measures as far as fire suppression and other things that they've added to Chase Field. A lot of like fixing of just some, I guess, what would you call it? Just the concrete in the building and things like that, things that they just need to fix to kind of reinforce and not make parts of this baseball stadium look like it's crumbling apart. It's very difficult to have anything like this in Arizona with this heat. It impacts a lot of stuff, but again, they're doing things slowly. They added like a new sound system out front. So there's that as well. And we've been told that, yes, the air conditioning is something that they're continuing to work on. It's going to be a multi-year project, and it'll most likely take a few more years before, I don't think it's before we feel the effects of it, because I do think that they're doing things to improve it. But again, it's an antiquated system, and unfortunately, due to the size of it and the number of buildings it's a part of, it's going to be a ridiculous cost to replace it. And, I feel like the team is just trying to get everything else that they need to get done before they focus their funding on that. But we need the clock back. We need the out-of-town scoreboards back. And don't worry, just like the pork belly nachos, I am going to hold the line on these issues as well. Even if it's not the same clock, we'll get a new clock, and it'll be a better clock. Damon, what was your favorite thing that you ate today out there at Chase Field? I know you got to try so many of the delicious things.
Well, of course, Derek. I mean, there's great items out there. Again, we didn't get to try everything.
I'm sad about
Chimichurri
that.
steak quesadilla.
Do not even get me started on the chimichurri steak quesadilla. I'm upset about it.
I'm gonna go to bed thinking about the chimichurri steak quesadilla tonight. But
and
I will
the
say,
chicken parmesan grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, I am a grilled cheese man. Derek, they've called me Mr. Grilled Cheese in the past.
That's what I've heard people call you.
So,
that's what your friends call you in the group chat.
No, it was my nickname in high school. But yeah, I think the pastrami sandwich was fantastic. I mean, it's so simple, but like that's the type of thing that you could have at the ballpark, and I think feel good after. I mean, it's heavy, but like it's still a sandwich. You know what I mean? The burrito bowl, that burrito bowl, Derek, you could eat that and feel like $1 million afterwards.
That's and I think that's my perspective on it as somebody that works at the ballpark
and has to do
stuff.
Yeah, you're not just grubbing out on Cold Stone and sitting in your seat slopping all over yourself like I am,
I'm not even gonna lie. The amount of chicken tenders I've eaten at Chase Field is criminal.
Little Gonzo's grill action.
It's my go-to. It's the fallback. It's like the one thing where even though it's fried food, it's chicken tenders and French fries, it still somehow makes me feel like I'm getting something better than a hot dog or a hamburger or any of the other options, right? And part of it is, some things are a little too expensive. So, the Diamondbacks always do a great job of providing value items. The problem with me as a grown man that's there a lot is those value items tend to be hot dogs and popcorn and such that I don't necessarily want to eat.
It's great for when you go to 8 games a year like I do, but it's not as good when you have to go to 80 games a year like Derek does, where all of a sudden the value dogs are not valuing as much as they used to.
I have lost already this year 16 pounds in 3 months.
Wow.
I am going to put every single one of those 16 pounds back on, plus 4 more when opening day gets here next week. Okay, so
I'm sorry about that.
Let me live and let me eat healthy sometimes, because I have a problem with that.
But I will say that the value beer is a great deal.
I'm
a big value beer man.
Yeah, you're not gonna get any arguments from me on that. But my favorite item, I think that I tried today, was probably the barbecue mac and cheese.
It was great.
It was great, and it just had everything. And again, I mean, I'm not going to categorize mac and cheese with brisket on top and bacon as healthy. I'm not going to even categorize the chicken bowl with all the ingredients, even though that one's far healthier than the macaroni and cheese. But I just think from the like a variety selection and how good these items were, I'm pumped. I'm excited for all of that, and I'm excited for the changes being made to Chase Field. I mean, I think it's the fan experience is going to improve year after year, and luckily, after going through so many rumors and so much speculation on this team possibly leaving the state and not being here anymore at Chase Field, right? Like, now we're past that, and we get to kind of be here knowing this team's going to stay here for the future and watch them.
Screw you, Utah.
Yeah, screw you, Utah. We still don't forgive you. But
take someone else's baseball team.
I did want to say this. We are having our watch party, which we are providing a tremendous place for us all to get together. Come next Thursday and watch the Diamondbacks take on the Dodgers in Game 1 of the 2026 season. This is happening on March 26th at 5:30 p.m. We will be out there. We're going to be doing a pregame show as well as a postgame show, but the postgame show will not be out at Crybaby. It will be back here at the studio. But You can join us at Crybaby, 818 North 1st Street in downtown Phoenix, right across the street from the Churchill. Doors open at 5, game starts at 5:30. They have huge TVs to watch the game. They have food and drink available for purchase. And most importantly, get to hang out with me and the dog, hanging out, watching baseball, having a great time, just like we did tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Crybaby, really cool place, by the way. I've never been inside, actually, but I've walked by outside, Derek, and it looks so cool in there that I'm not joking with you. I actually walked past it and then back over across because I was
because you were like,
wait,
track.
no, I literally did like wait a second. I wish I was kidding. This is not a lie. I went back across the street on the other. I was on the wrong side of the street and went across the street and I said, "What the hell is this place?" And I looked at it. Huge open space. Perfect place to have a watch party. If you guys are looking for a place to watch that first Dbacks game, this is the spot to do it. I promise you that. So come join Derek, come join me, come join the crew out there. Gonna be a lot of fun.
We'll also have post-game shows for you for all 3 of those first games in against Los Angeles Dodgers. So make sure to join us for that here at this channel as well. But if you want to come and join us at Crybaby, you can RSVP for free. You just got to go over to our events page at gophnx.com and sign up there. We already have a bunch of people that have RSVP'd, so
awesome.
We're thrilled for that.
It's free, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely free. Yep. Food and drink will be available for purchase, but of course,
no reason not to come.
Yeah. Stick a sandwich in
Ryan,
your backpack.
I know you'll be there.
Yeah, Ryan has to be there. Yeah, Ryan, we're just committing you to that right now. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we're going to talk about the Diamondbacks beating the Reds and see if any of you care about it. We're going to do this here in 2 minutes. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, I brought up the Heat during our ad breaks entirely too many times, but it's because it's like a horror movie monster. It's just waiting to come get us here soon in May, and it might even be here as early as March. So you can defeat the Heat by checking out APS's budget billing option. Right now, we know that living here in Arizona, the most difficult financial thing on many of us is the fact that we know those summer temperatures are going to skyrocket. We know our energy bills are going to go up, and there's not much we can do about it. Most importantly, it just kind of hits us financially at a tough time. Well, now with budget billing, many folks are finding ways to manage their budget by using budget billing that allows you to average your bill across the year so that you know exactly what you're going to pay month to month, and there are no surprises when that bill comes. The key takeaway here being that your payment is averaged out over the year and you pay that exact same amount. That's something that I think many of us in Arizona are not used to and would love to have in our lives. At the very least, even if it's more expensive in months where it's cooler, you know that you can manage that bill knowing exactly what you're going to pay. So find all of your options to manage your bill at aps.com/let's talk right now. And Pure Edibles is another wonderful company from right here in Arizona. They were created in Flagstaff, and they make a wide variety of edibles, a wide variety of candies that you can try. They have gummies. They have their version of Starburst that they call Kicks. They have chews, soft candies, hard candies, and new stuff that they're coming out with all the time. They also have a wide variety of effects, which are clearly listed on each tin, as well as a wide variety of delicious flavors that are listed on each tin. So these are designed to be ripped in half or bit in half, making them easily shareable or easy to dial in your exact dose. Plus, Pure Edibles has a collaboration with Mother Road Brewery, which they are bringing you the finest IPA in all the land, Tower Station IPA, where you can now get in on Hoppy Hour all the time. They are offering a new THC all-in-one device with the crisp citrus and piney hops of Arizona's favorite IPA. So go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. Well, Damon, Dbacks Spring Training is still happening, believe it or not. I know many people probably have forgotten about it. But now that the World Baseball Classic is over, all of our beloved players will be returning from their WBC teams and coming back to the Diamondbacks. They did beat the Reds yesterday. There was no game today, so it was a nice day to have this WBC championship. But they beat the Reds by a score of 11-6, and they improved to 11-12 in Cactus League play, if you care about such things that don't really matter. Ryan Nelson looked good out there. He only allowed 2 extra base hits in his outing, one being a home run to Nathaniel Lowe In the fourth inning, his line, he goes 4 innings pitched. He gave up 4 hits, only 1 earned run. He only walked 1, and he struck out 6. So a very nice answer from Ryan Nelson after he struggled a bit in his last outing. Meanwhile, Cade Stroud was the only pitcher in this game, and the Diamondbacks used plenty of them who did not allow an earned run. So Taylor Clark finally allowed his first earned run. His ERA balloons up to 1.29 this spring. And that's where we're at with pitching. I think, again, when we talked about the concerns with the spring training results and what's been going on, the biggest concerns surround pitching and the injuries. We don't know who is returning when. And, of course, it's very encouraging to have Merrill Kelly out here pitching in spring training games and Corbin Carroll hitting in spring training games. But we still have several statuses up in the air. Now we have new news that Gabby Moreno has right forearm tightness, as well as Pavin Smith having left forearm tightness. So we're still waiting to hear some results from Pavin Smith, who's currently day-to-day. Meanwhile, Torey Lavallo gave an update on Gabriel Moreno the other day. He said Gabby's MRI revealed no structural damage, just right elbow inflammation. So Moreno is being shut down for hopefully just a few days, and we'll see him back in the lineup. But meanwhile, James McCann is a godsend. And it's not just because of his huge muscly arms or the fact that his jersey is now available in the team shop along with so many other player jerseys, which was really a big delight to see today. But James McCann went 2 for 4 in the win with a home run. He also had a double, 3 RBI, and he struck out once. So great day out there at the plate for McCann. Lou James Groover, he also had himself quite the game. He went 2 for 3 with a home run himself. He had 3 RBI. He walked once and struck out once. So good performances from those guys. Jordan Lawler still is hitting this spring. He's 1 for 3. He scored 2 runs. He walked also. So his single he scored, and he scored as after he walked. And he struck out twice. Tim Tawa stays hot as well. 1 for 2. He had a 2 RBI, 2 runs scored, and a walk in this one. So again, the Diamondbacks will be getting some reinforcements here very soon. The Dominican Republic players will probably be joining the squad, I'm guessing, in tomorrow's game. So we will have, Carlos Santana, Nolan Arenado from Team Puerto Rico, and Perdomo and Marte back. So again, the value of spring training games might be increasing, even though they're still very expensive, and a lot of people aren't attending them due to the cost of spring training games. I still cannot believe, considering both the weather and the cost, or I guess lack of attendance, that MLB isn't doing more about adjusting these prices. But I really think at the end of the day, if I have this understanding correct, I feel like it's the spring training facilities themselves that oversee the decision to change ticket prices and such. So I don't even know if this is something to blame the Diamondbacks or any teams in spring training for as much as it is the particular facilities. The reason why I say that is because, Damon, on the west side, we got Camelback Ranch where the champions are playing, and I hear from people on the west side that they're paying like $10 to $15 for an actual seat. And it's the same story with Surprise.
The East Valley's a disaster.
True. What's that?
The East Valley's a disaster.
Yeah, the East Valley is a disaster. Demand is too high. And it's not even high. You go out to Salt River Fields and the stadium's not even half full. So
I mean, it's just the ticket prices, man. They're ridiculous. Yeah. I was telling my roommate this weekend, I was like, I'd love to go to a spring training game. I'd love to just like roll out of bed and say, what is the, you know what? Not even what is the price.
Yeah.
I'd love to just roll out of bed and say, I'm going to the spring training game today because it's that accessible.
Yeah. Because we live here and this is baseball nirvana and we get access.
And I'm a
to
Dbacks fan, so I want to go watch the Dbacks play in a 15,000 person ballpark when it's half the scrub lineup. You know what I mean? Like it should be $40 maximum. It should be $20.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be $100 to sit anywhere that isn't the grass with the sun beating down on you. The D-backs, the Cubs, and the Giants are a disaster to get to.
Yeah.
And every other one is accessible. But those are the teams that people want to go watch because not only are they the most popular, but they're the most centralized locations. They're the easiest to get in and out of. I understand it.
They're nice stadiums, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Scottsdale's a great stadium for being older, and obviously Salt River Fields and Sloan Park are incredible because they're newer stadiums, and they're just great facilities. But
I mean, it's just like you better go drive up to Peoria if you want to go watch some decently affordable baseball in the spring training. You better
West
go
Side
drive.
wins again.
You better
West
go
Side
to
wins again.
Goodyear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're just not doing it at Sloan or at Salt River.
And I hate to complain, and I know things will change, and I know things will be over before we know it. We'll blink, and spring training will be over, and we'll be playing regular season games back at Chase Field where people can get $9 tickets.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Is that you can
That's
go watch
the crazy
you
part.
can go watch a regular game for a tenth of the price of what it costs to watch a spring training game for the same team. And you're like, excuse me? Where are all these people in the regular season? Is it just something that's cool to do, or do you actually like baseball?
See, I think it is. I think that this is a popular time for people to be here because of how nice the weather is. And they're just assuming that, the tourism is enough of a boost to ticket sales that they'll be fine, right? But realistically, what you've done is you've made it very hard for, our population of retirees that love to come out to spring training games. You made it hard for them to be able to afford it. You've made it hard for regular people to afford it. And, at the end of the day, if tickets are going to be so different in price from the lawn, what? I can't imagine ever paying for anything other than the lawn. I'm getting a lawn ticket for $25, and then I can just go to the ballpark and be around and sit in the lawn, sit where I want to, find a place here, find a place there. For the most part, with the stadiums being as empty as they are, I don't really feel ushers care too much. If you even go sit in a seat that you didn't purchase, just because there's so many available seats at some of these games that it would be kind of ridiculous to enforce.
We play in the biggest stadium ever. Like, I know it's not, but it feels like Chase Field is the biggest stadium on earth. I think it's second in Major League Baseball, if I'm not mistaken, Derek, which is insane. I mean, it shouldn't be the case, but it definitely leads to a million empty seats every game. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, we have one more break to take, and then when we come back, we are going to talk about a very special group chat that Damon and I found out about today, and we have to be a part of it. More importantly, we have to know what they're talking about in there. We're going to do this on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Well, MLB's opening day is almost here, and of course, you want to be there for it, whether you're in Los Angeles for the actual opening day or whether you're back here at Chase Field for when the Diamondbacks take on the Detroit Tigers. You can get your tickets for cheaper through Game Time. And of course, we know how frustrating of a ticket experience some of those apps out there can be. And we know about everything from queues to prices jumping to everything else that makes this ticket buying process miserable, but not at Game Time. Not only do they have an incredibly effective app that's very, very appealing to the eye, but they also have constant innovation that lets you, it gets you to unlock the exact ticket you're looking for and experiences you're looking for in a few taps. Fees are included in the price over at Game Time, so there's no surprises when you check out. And of course, you can always find yourself good deals on MLB games. So, and you can save even more by selecting a zone deal, which will allow you to simply pick a section of the ballpark you want to sit in, and Game Time will do the rest. They also have the ability to see what your view is going to be from the seat. So that way, again, there's no surprises as to what you're going to be seeing when you go to that baseball game. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app right now, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Damon, what time is it?
Game time.
It's game time.
Boo, 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 boo.
And it's also time to go by Circle K and get me something for my throat because, as you can tell, it's dying on me. And that is the perfect place to go because Circle K is America's thirst stop. It's Derek's thirst stop. It's Damon's thirst stop. And it should be your thirst stop. The reason why is you're paying probably far too much for drinks wherever you're going. So whether you're looking for a delicious coffee in the morning or you're looking for a cold beverage in the afternoon, Circle K has you covered. And you can do it for less by joining the Inner Circle, which is their free membership program. It's easy to download and get enrolled, and then you just got to use your phone number to save on all sorts of things like 79-cent Polar Pops, 99-cent Frosters. You'll get 3 20-ounce Coca-Cola products, and you'll save 25 cents off per gallon on gas. and so much more. Like I said in the past, I don't even know what deals there are sometimes. And I just put in my phone number, and next thing I know, I'm saving $2-3 off of whatever I was going to get. So join the inner circle and you can save too. You can do this for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. Our beloved Luis Gonzalez said some amazing things today. His speech was brief, albeit still impactful. However, Damon and I found out the most important part about what Luis Gonzalez said had nothing to do with the stadium or the new food. It had to do with Gonzo telling us that there is a group chat that exists in this world right now that consists of the members of the 2001 World Series Diamondbacks team. And Damon, there's a lot of things I've wanted to accomplish in my lifetime. I've actually had the pleasure of accomplishing many of those thanks to this show and working at PHNX. However, anything I've accomplished or anything I've ever wanted to accomplish pales in comparison to how much I want in on this group chat that I know for a fact I'm never going to be a part of, and I will never see a single screenshot of a message from. And it seems unfair to give me something that I want this bad. What are they talking about in there? Does Randy Johnson use emojis?
I'll tell you exactly what they're talking about in there.
Is Steve Finley like the guy that just gives everybody the business? Is Jay Bell in there is he the dad? Is he out there making everybody take their ibuprofen and make sure that they're using, their Bengay?
Drinking water,
staying hydrated. It's my job around here. What do you think?
I think they're talking about one thing and one thing only. Tea times. Those guys golf together every day. And
that's it. It's literally
the whole chat is just like anyone down for 8 tomorrow. Blackhawk.
Yep.
It's not gonna work for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I already
looks
got
like
a reservation for 4.
Gracie's out.
Yeah.
Maddie, what are you up to?
Yeah.
It literally that's just the entire the whole chat. That's the whole chat. That and maybe someone responded to me with this, and I actually think that it might be true. Maybe like Torrey makes a bad decision, and they're like,
"Oh, they're roasting him."
They're like, "You see,
they roast Torrey in that
They're
chat.
like, you see what Torrey did today?
Yeah,
unbelievable."
They definitely roast Torrey in that chat. I want to
the Randy Johnson emoji.
See, I feel like Randy Johnson probably just sends pictures that he's taken with no context, no caption. Nothing. He just randomly adds pictures to the chat.
And they're like, they just like the message.
Yeah. Because they don't want to have Randy be mad at them. Mm-hmm. And they don't really want to expand on it because they know Randy doesn't want to discuss anything through text. You're not expecting Randy Johnson to text you words back. That's crazy. Kurt Schilling in the chat, not in the chat. In the chat?
He's in the chat.
Yeah, he's in the chat. He's definitely in the chat.
He's in the chat.
I think that speaks volumes.
I don't need to say much more other than I don't know if there's some people that necessarily disagree with Kurt Schilling all that much.
Yeah, well,
baseball players.
That's gonna happen. But we thank you guys so much for your love of this team and for your love of World Baseball Classic and the Team Venezuela, who's now the champion. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. We'll be back unbelievably tomorrow at noon, I guess.
Yep.
I don't have it in me, but I'll make an attempt to put it together by then. But make sure to join us at noon tomorrow. We'll be back then. Until then, you can follow us on social media. I am at Cap_caveman with a K. Damon is at Damon Dog with a DAWG, and we're all Damon's dogs around here. Bark, bark. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you guys so much for your time. Appreciate you. Love you guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful evening. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when Team Venezuela captures their first gold medal in the WBC.
Did we get this super chat?
Oh,
no, we didn't. We got Michael Rikicki real quick. Sorry, I wanted to make sure we didn't.
Maybe before I do the outro, Damon. Maybe before I do the outro, but I will happily read Michael Rikicki's Super
If
chat.
I remembered before you did the outro, I would have shown it before you did the outro.
That's fair. Michael says Torrey and Brian Kaplan should tell Erod every start is a WBC start. Maybe that's a better outro than
Remember,
what I just
kids.
said. Remember, kids. According to us, for Erod, every outing is a WBC outing.
We all silly like the mayor.